Hey guys. Well. I know I'm late. It's a late one, but the Eubank Jr., Conor Benn saga's still going on. It's a long drawn out Buddhism. Illusions in the Buddhism. Or is it an illusion in the Buddhism? Is it a real Buddhism? The war was in the Buddhism. The war was in the Buddhism. It was the battle of two Buddhisms. All right, let me just. I know I'm delayed, and I know you guys have been waiting. Oh, where's your? Thank you for everyone messaging me asking where my Eubank Jr. Benn breakdown was. It's here. So, listen, Linda. That was fight of the year contender. Facts. Listen, I had it, I think 117, 111. Actually post it now, actually, so you can see. Stand by. As you can see, yep, 117 to 111, which is a 9-3 score. I did have one swing round. I could swung that round to Conor Benn if I wanted, and that would have made it 8-4. There was no way in hell that Conor Benn won the fight. There was no way in hell that this was even a draw. People get things mixed up. A fighter could be very competitive and still not win any rounds or many a round or more rounds that allows them to therefore win the fight. People need to realise competitiveness does not mean you are winning rounds. I had Conor winning 2, 3 and 6. Round 2, 3 and 6. The judges had Conor winning 8-4. So I'm not averse to that. I'm not really of the mindset of 7-5 because the reason why I waited so long, because I wanted to see, you know, what Conor was going to say. But guys, we saw when that Rolls Royce SUV opened and hallelujah. Chris Eubank Senior. He entered the Buddhism. It was an iconic Buddhism. The Benns looked like, oh my God, what is he doing in the Buddhism? Oh, that was epic when we saw it cut to the Benns. The back of them looking in the locker room on the TV like, oh my God, he's here. But I mean, I would like to think that really they was happy that Senior was here. Nigel Benn still has a lot of hate for Chris Eubank. And I already said going into this fight, Conor Benn is going to fight angry and with his head. And that's where it's going to go wrong. He headhunted. He started off fast. I gave Chris the first round, Conor Benn round 2 and 3. Afterwards, I thought that Chris near enough cleaned up. It was about a battle of attrition. It was a war. Chris Eubank Jr. showed me something that I didn't know he had. They both showed me things that I didn't know that they had, to be honest. Chris Eubank Jr. Was never been like massive on him due to the fact that I feel that he is such an underachiever and could have done way better than he has in his career. I mean, he lost against George Groves and you beat Daniel DeGale. Split decision loss from Billy Joe Saunders. Didn't fight Triple G and had Kell Brook get his lights punched out. So, you know, I wasn't a big fan of him. Right now, I respect him. I respect him a lot. It's a respected Buddhism. It is. Conor Benn showed me that he is a strong lad. Still kept the speed. Came in, weighed in at 156. Came in on the night of the fight, 166. Chris Eubank, as we know, really suffered this time making weight. 35 years old, mate. You got to go back up to super middle. That's it, point blank. In a period. He struggled to make weight, as we saw, only by a few ounces, and they made it such a big deal. Fined him half a milli. A milli. God, what an expensive Buddhism. So, yeah. So he got fucked. Chris Eubank Junior's, he got fined and paid money in this, bless him. He did this just for he did it for the money, of course, but I think he did this. He was like, listen, Linda, I ain't losing. We ain't losing to a Ben, and they haven't lost to a Ben yet. Chris Eubank Jr. struggled to make weight, as we know, but when he walked into the ring, he still looked drained. I mean, he didn't have time to rehydrate properly at all. You could see it. That was I would say that is about a 50% Chris Eubank Jr. I'm not going to lie. If that was a fully 100% Chris Eubank Jr., unfortunately, Conor Benn would have been stopped. Tried everything which I don't respect. They tried everything to mess with Chris Eubank Jr. And, for instance, instead of having a 22 by 22 foot ring or even a 20 by 20, they made it an 18 by 18. So Chris couldn't move. As we saw at the end of the fight, Chris literally had no legs and planted his feet and had to go toe to toe with Conor Benn, who literally wobbled him a couple of times in that fight. And Conor walked into an almighty, prolific Chris Eubank Jr. uppercut. Conor Benn headhunted, didn't go to the body, whereas Chris Eubank did go to the body, and his jab was amazing. And what I did realise, he didn't really have any mustard on his shots. And the reason why he didn't have mustard on his shots was because the guy was drained. And that's why he looked like what he did, because Conor Benn was okay. You know, Conor Benn could eat, Conor Benn could hydrate. It was light work for him for the diet, for making weight for Conor Benn. So you got and that's why I actually predicted Chris Eubank to beat Conor Benn. The first time when this fight was announced 2.5 years ago, I was actually going for Conor Benn to beat Chris Eubank Jr. And I realised when I saw Conor Benn pop and then fight them two junior middleweight fights, and couldn't really put a dent in these low-level geezers, I said no. Your O's leaving the building. And yeah, I just knew that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be too big for Conor Benn. It's for you to be the smaller fighter, fighting someone that's significantly bigger, you need to offset that with like top 5 pound for pound skills. Or even top 10 at least, you know what I mean? Pound for pound skills, to negate the fact that you're fighting someone that is literally way bigger than you. It's the only way it's going to work. You've got to negate something. And Conor Benn, as decent as he is, he's not obviously a pound for pound fighter at this moment in his career. His skills are not pound for pound level skills. They're not like elite. None of them are. No, both of the lads are not elite. But Conor Benn, obviously, at the age of 27, will see where his path goes, because obviously he's got a lot of time. Chris Eubank Jr., let's not talk about Johnny Becks and all of those. It's pointless. He doesn't want those types of fights. He's just here for the money, and you just got to accept it. You may not respect it, but you just got to accept it. He gave us one of the fights of the year. So, I rest my case, Your Honour. But here's a little bit of what Conor Benn had to say. Conor Benn has been living in Delulu land. He said he thought he won the fight. Let's have a listen. Stand by.
Through you. Yeah. I was just looking to take his head off.
You could tell.
Yeah, I
came out with a lot of fire, man. Some big shots right away. And you hit him with some big shots early, too, so that probably...
Yeah, so I was looking for the one shot. Yeah. I messed up. You say messed up. I didn't mess up, but I could have done better.
Right.
I could have not let my emotions rule the fight. And I'm disciplined enough to not allow that to happen. So for that to happen... Yeah. I still personally feel like I won the fight. I feel like
explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like
some people are like, "How can you think you won?" When we watch it back, you landed some. We're talking about damage.
I landed the cleanest shots. Yeah. I dictated the pace of the first half relatively easily up until around about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Hola. Conor! 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 Conor. You didn't win the fight, and CompuBox said you didn't either. Stand by.
Yo, how you girl? It's Lady Shot. Yeah. Stevie Decibel, you know say you large. Gas man, you know say you large. Voila. So yo, when me start, me look good, you sound good from far. Anytime me listen to your bars, it's a part. Talk about you, boss, gone SLR. But them let you in Canada. Big time lies on the big time France. Spinning bird kick to your lip, to your jaw. Don't try me, my youth, I'm a boss. To me look like cute, just because. Sit on by the rhythm, and me sit on in the walk. You a victim when me driving on me car. Don't sky ice and your hoodie to the stars. Look on the mic, pull up a water. Run off your mouth, kill off the data. Serious thing, not time for laughter. You a black sheep, go call your barber. 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 You a black sheep, go call your barber.
Conor Benn was outlanded, outthrown, out power punched in every single round. All 12 rounds by Chris Eubank Jr. There was not one round that Conor Benn outthrew, outland, power punched, jabbed at all. So, listen, you need to... That talk needs to stop about, I thought I won the fight, do you know what I mean? I was the one that was throwing the cleaner landed shots, and no, you wasn't. The CompuBox said, no, you wasn't. In all 12 rounds, no, we're not going to say yeah. Oh, Lord. What else have I got to say on this? Chris Eubank Senior, basically said that his son was... Chris Eubank Jr. went to the hospital, so did Conor Benn a little later, and was literally... he was on death's door. Let's see if we can play a little bit of that. Stand by.
Back all those years ago to think about what Michael went through. And I was feeling and seeing and hearing all of that. And I'm saying to myself, people don't know, but my son is touch and go. And the only way we're going to know whether he's going to be okay is after the CT scans. He suffered mostly in the hospital because of dehydration, even though the beating was severe. And that's why he was in such discomfort for 24, 30 hours. You know how many times I welled up? You know how many times I trembled? At 35 years old, for him to be coming back down to 160, semi-conscious, and he has been battered, just like his adversary in Conor. He came into the hospital probably 2 o'clock in the morning, and when I looked at him, I did break down. He was on the bed, and his legs were obtusely bent, and he was like this. And I couldn't see whether he was actually awake. And as I walked closer and I said, "You okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay.
It looked like the dehydration was a thing because what people, you got to realise that the brain is surrounded by fluid. Your brain and the base of, your back, your meningitic kind of areas. And without that cushioning of fluid, your brain just doesn't function correctly. It will want to shut down. You're getting bashed, so it's rocking your brain in its skull without any fluid, and it's causing contusions and bruising and bleeding, and ultimately that can cause death. Chris Eubank Jr. really put his body through a big thing for this fight for us. Them two are warriors, and so did Conor Benn. Straight warriors. But do I want to see the rematch? No, I don't. I don't want to see Chris Eubank go through that again. It's not safe. He comprehensively won, and we're not going to be able to replicate that sheer euphoria of that magical night. I am so blessed that British boxing is in the position that it's in, and that we are turning out the greatest fights of the year candidates, and you know, your services have been respected and honoured, and we don't need to see Conor Benn, you know, get beaten, and we don't need to see Chris Eubank Jr. get beaten. Nothing's going to replace that magical night, like I said, and we don't. It's too much. Conor Benn is the little guy, and, you know, Chris Eubank, 35 going on 36, we don't really need to see all that again. So, yeah, I think I'll just leave it there. That was my thoughts. I hope you are happy with my thoughts, and if you're not, then you're not. Like I said, I thought I'll bring it from me to you, from you to me. This is going to be long to edit now, man. Ew, dares, Rodders. Anyway, I'm gone. Hey girl, it's Leah the Shan rep nonetheless. Come box with Shan. Gyan! The long edit is in the booties in. Gyan!